it's Russell from What Drives Us, and I am in the Tesla Model Y long range version. So, for those of you that have been in a Model 3, the Model Y is going to be a strong sense of deja vu. All the controls are the same, all the software is the same. It's the physical space that is different, and I'm guessing from this vehicle's behavior that the previous driver has regen on. Yeah, because it's definitely in one pedal mode. It's not coasting at all. Anyway, not a lot of big surprises in the Y. It's really, again, just the physical space that's different here. It handles much like the 3. I haven't driven the S, so I can't really tell you, or I haven't driven the S in a long, long time, so I can't really compare that. The 3, I drove just a few minutes ago, so I can give you a direct one-to-one there. Nonetheless, it is, you know, it is every bit as spunky as a 3, but not as fast, obviously, as like a 3 Performance. I really want to get this regen off. Off, sport, standard. Okay, there we go. And now it'll coast and glide a little more like one would expect. You know, it's the minimalism of the Tesla interior. Everything is controlled through the screen and a couple of basic controls here. So no knobs, no buttons. If you need to figure something out, you need to know where it is on the touch screen. Until you train yourself where that is, that can be a little confusing. That can be a little scary. But again, that's doesn't really apply to somebody who owns the car and drives it every day and it familiarizes themselves with it. And it goes quick. It's not as fast as the Model 3 Performance that I just finished driving, but it's definitely spunky, as you would expect, as you would demand. If you're going to buy a Tesla, chances are the reasons have to do with performance, or some of it has to do with performance. Now, let me apologize and backtrack on that, because maybe not. Maybe the reason you want a Tesla has nothing to do with performance. Maybe it's all about electric. Maybe it's all about quiet and smooth. Maybe it's all about just styling. Okay, there you go. Here, let's step on it a little bit. How's that? That's 0 to 60 and pretty quick. And that's really the only number you need. Pretty quick, pretty quick. How does the vehicle handle? Again, it drives. It doesn't have the best turning circle in the world, but it doesn't drive like a big car. It feels heavy, and it is heavy. These vehicles have very low slung battery that gives it a very low center of gravity, which is great for handling, but you can also feel it in the vehicle. It's spunky, but it's not light. It's not quite as maybe responsive as you might expect it to be for as much torque and acceleration as it has. It's interesting looking at different signs and cones and whatnot on the road and seeing them, whether or not they appear on the screen and when the car visually identifies them. That's definitely something that, you know, obviously is unique to Tesla at this point in a consumer production vehicle. That was a Jeep, not a tractor trailer that just went by in front of us. But, you know, again, maybe the amazing thing about the dancing bear isn't how well it waltzes, it's that it dances at all. So that the car can recognize any of these hazards is probably laudable. Does it say that Tesla's camera-based visual identification system is maybe not complete? I think that's obvious because they haven't deployed FSD yet. So there you go. I think it's coming up because I have a little bag sitting in this seat. Interesting. It told me that I'm going too fast for the speed limit here. Oh, that's interesting. I mean, good for them, right? I wonder if that's a warning that can be taken away. The Y doesn't feel that much bigger driving-wise than the 3. The big difference is obviously this is a long range, and the 3 that I just drove was a performance. And that makes a huge difference. Random observations, I don't like the door handles. Did I say that? Yeah, the door handles suck. Rear visibility in this vehicle is next to zero. It is a tiny little window, a thin strip, looking out that rear view mirror. Beautiful panoramic roof, though, that makes this car seem very airy and open driving it, which is nice. But yeah, boy, that rear visibility is pretty much imaginary. I'm sure it's legal, but it doesn't feel like it's much more than that. You know, over and over again, it just keeps coming back to the difference in driving this vehicle versus driving an ICE vehicle in a similar size and configuration. The differences are shocking, right? Because this car is so much quicker. It's so much faster than an ICE car. And obviously it's quiet. Interesting. I have to say that until you get used to the controls, having them all clustered in one screen is difficult. Like right now, I'd like to just adjust the AC a little bit, but I can't because I'm driving and I don't really know where all the buttons are. Whereas in a vehicle that had buttons and controls, I could probably stab at a couple of things and at least get close to what I wanted. All of this goes to say that there's a learning curve with a Tesla, and you buy one, it behooves you to learn the vehicle so that you don't get in a situation where you're driving and you don't know how to do what you need to do, or you don't know how to do it easily enough. That's how you do that. It's not hard if you know what you're doing. Nice clear backup camera, but really there should be a button, and I think there is if you configure this differently. Yeah. Go away. Go away! See, this is what I mean though, like how I want to get to this. Okay, so I don't care anymore. I need to get the car back. Anyway, I gotta tell you, it's that's interesting. Okay, so there's actually a better view than the rear view mirror. If you hit that camera icon on the main screen, it shows you what's behind you. That's super helpful. Absolutely. And that goes away, or it's there. There you go. Can you see that? I hope you can. So I want to make a couple of points that I didn't make yesterday during the drive that came to me after, just kind of sort of thinking about it. And I'm going to be really open about this. This comes in the context of Monday. I just turned in a Toyota Highlander hybrid that I've been driving, which happens to be what Toyota calls a midsize SUV, CUV. It's much larger than the Model Y. Of course, it has a hybrid powertrain. It's not even a plug-in hybrid, so there's a significant gas ICE engine component in that. By no means are the two vehicles identical, but they're similar in some ways. The Highlander is a 7-passenger vehicle. The Model Y may someday be a 7-passenger vehicle. Right now it's 5. The Platinum version of the Highlander hybrid that I drove priced out at $52,000. The version of the Model Y that I drove priced out at $56,000. So similar in price, similar in intent, if not identical. And I'm not trying to make a direct one-to-one comparison. What I'm saying is that after driving the two vehicles in the same week, it's hard for me not to make some comparisons with the build quality. And I'm not going to talk about panel gaps or other things, bumpers fall off, the other problems that have been alleged with some Teslas. I'm talking about my direct observations, what I saw yesterday. In the vehicle, it does not feel like a luxury vehicle. It's very nice. It's very minimal, but it doesn't, it's very plasticky, and a lot of the door catches and things are weird. The door handles, I guess you either love them or you hate them. I think the door handles are horrible. But there's a lot of items in the Tesla that don't feel like they belong in a $50K or better car. Now, why is that? Well, I mean, that's obvious. You're paying for the powertrain. You're paying for the battery pack, which is arguably one of the best on the planet. So that's the trade-off. You get speed, you get electricity, which is my favorite powertrain, and you don't have nice center consoles. The other amenities in it are kind of cheap in the Model Y, to put it bluntly. I don't know if and how they'll actually get a third row of seats in the Model Y. I suspect it won't ever happen. I sat in the third row of seats in the Highlander, and it's not the greatest seats in the world, but they're there, and they're legit seats for legit adults. So, there's trade-offs. Now, I'm not saying I would rather have a hybrid over an electric vehicle. What I'm saying is, if you're going to spend $50,000 plus in a vehicle, these are valid considerations you're going to make. So I think it's valid to bring them up. All in all, I was impressed, I guess, to say, with many aspects of my short time, in the Tesla Model Y. I'm always been and always will be a big EV power advocate, or maybe let me just say I've always been a big advocate of moving fossil fuel vehicles out of the running. So I totally support that mission. It's an interesting set of compromises. Any vehicle is. And overall, if you got $50K and you want a crossover, you could do a lot worse than getting a Model Y. A lot worse. It's fun to drive. It's electric. It is comfortable, and it works. All in all, Tesla should get credit for getting the vehicle to market when, or actually a little earlier than when they said, and producing it. I didn't see any obvious quality issues that a lot of Tesla detractors allege. But my experience with those quality issues with Tesla vehicles is that it sort of goes back to the old-fashioned thing where people used to say, never buy an American car made on a Friday because everybody wants to get drunk. And there are good Teslas and there are bad Teslas. And if you have a bad Tesla, you probably don't have a great car. And if you have a good one, you probably got one that doesn't have any panel gaps or doesn't have any problems with it, which is to say it's an American manufactured product, and the fight to be consistent and to always present the best possible vehicle that company can produce is a daily fight. So again, overall, I think the Tesla Model Y is a strong car. And if you've got $50K or more to put into an electric CUV, go for it. I think you'll be delighted with it. Well, thanks very much for watching our 10-minute long or less Model Y instant review. As always, you can find us at What Drives Us throughout social media. Please subscribe to the channel, hit that notifications bell so that you are notified when we have upcoming new reviews. Thanks very much for watching, and until next time, drive safely.